Hello, Wayne Counthoff here reporting on the Manitoba Sports Network for the Manitoba AAA Boys Hockey League report. I have the head coach of the Brandon Wheat Kings here with me, Tyson Ramsey. Tyson, thanks a lot for coming on the air.
No worries. Thank you,
Wayne. Right off the get-go here, are you happy with where your team is at right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're pretty satisfied where we are as a group at the moment. If you'd asked me a month and a half ago, I probably would have been a different answer. We had a bit of a slow start, going 1-4 to start the season, but since we've gotten better in a lot of areas, and still our game is not as consistent as we'd like. But if you asked us at the beginning of the season, at this point in the regular season, sitting in fourth place with some games in hand on teams in front of us, I think we would have taken that. So yeah, I would say we're fairly satisfied at the moment.
This next question is going to have a fair bit of numbers on it, so try and answer it the best you can here. But you guys are in fourth place with 13 wins, 5 losses, overtime loss, a shootout loss for 28 points. Currently, you sit 8 points behind first place, which is the Winnipeg Wild, 4 points behind Yellowhead with 32 points. Is your goal right now just to catch Yellowhead, or is first place still the main goal right now?
We don't necessarily look at the teams in front of us. Obviously, we'd like to be as high in the standings as we can be. We look first and foremost at our own game and the things that we have done well and the things that we still need to improve on. There's lots that we need to improve on yet, and we continue to work on those things and get better. I think we'll get to where we want to be. Ultimately, a goal of ours is a playoff spot, and when you make the playoffs, you'd like to be in the top 4 in the league, so you're playing a team lower in the standings. But it's been proven here over the last little while that any team in this league can win on any given night. So we want to finish as best we can in the standings, obviously, but we look first and foremost, like I said, at our own game and where we can improve and get better, and we go from there.
Does this team roll the way Lyndon McCallum with 25 points and James Nee with 23 points goes, or is this just an all-around team effort?
We have some guys that produce for us offensively fairly consistently, and Tate Popple fits in that group, and Nolan Turcotte. But over the last little while, over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting some real good efforts from guys on our third, fourth lines too. So that's real nice to see. Some of those guys, Lyndon and Tate, for example, have not produced as much offensively over the last few games, and we've had guys pick up the slack for them. So when you're building a team, that's what you want to see. You got to have can't be go to the same guys all the time, and you got to have some secondary scoring, and we've been seeing that over the last little while, and we've been getting the results that we've been looking for because of that.
Yeah, and for sure. I mean, if you're getting production off your fourth line, that's huge, or your third line, because they usually refer to those guys as your checkers, right? So, if you're getting production out of those guys, that's huge for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, anytime you can get at any level of hockey, anytime you can get some secondary scoring, that's certainly a benefit to your group. And you have some guys that strengths of their game is offensively and putting points on the board, but those guys can have off nights and or times where things just don't go their way. So you have to have guys to pick up the slack. And when you're building a team, like I said, you look for that, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that over the last little while.
Curtis Ireland has 17 points. Your next closest defenseman, Jake Thompson, with 8 points. Is there a concern with points, or do you just try to keep the puck out of your net?
Yeah, I don't think so. We're not concerned about points for those guys. Obviously, when they chip in, that's a huge benefit to us. And Curtis plays quite a bit on our first power play group, so he gets a lot of time on there that Jake playing on our second group doesn't get. But we look for our defense group to defend as a group and get the puck in the hands of our forwards, and they've done a real good job of that so far. Jake in particular, we talked about him just the other day. He leads our team in plus minus at a point a couple of weeks ago, and defends really well and plays a physical game that we need. We're not overly big, so he does a lot of good things. Curtis plays it well in all situations, and he's got an offensive side to his game, and like I said, playing on that first power play unit, he gets some more opportunities maybe than other guys to put points on the board. So it's nice when these guys can contribute, but we look first and foremost for that group to defend, and like I said, be good puck moving defensemen and get the puck in the hands of our forwards, who we think are pretty skilled and pretty quick, and so that's what we're looking for from that group.
Yeah, for sure. And when you talk defense, then you got to kind of talk goaltending. So that's my next question to you. Max Paddock, he's played 17 games. Trent Miner's played 18 games. Paddock has got a 2.17 goals against, as opposed to Miner's 2.89. Is that a lot has to do with your defense as well, or does that all fall on goaltending?
I think it's obviously it's a defense is a team effort. Our defense group has worked hard over the last little while on defending in the rink, and we worked hard on our team defense too over the last little while. We felt early in the season, especially, that was a weakness of ours, and we've gotten better at it over the last little while. Still a lot of work to do, and still a long ways to go, to compete with some of those quicker teams. But our goaltending has been real solid. Both guys, Max and Trent, have been real good. And we expected them to be. Max is a returning guy and played well for us as a 15-year-old, and the expectations went up for him this year, and he's met those and more. And Trent, coming in as a 15-year-old, he's done a real good job. You forget at times that Trent is only 15. The way he plays, he's a very mature young man, and plays extremely well. He's really good positionally, and he's a big body and moves well. And so both our goalies have done a tremendous job for us.
Well, that sounds good, because last time you guys were in the Pembina Valley, we called that game right here on the Manitoba Sports Network, and I thought Max Paddock played really well. Well, your whole team played very well. It was a 3-1 win for you guys, and I think your defense, from what I can remember, was pretty solid. I remember calling James Nee and Lyndon McCallum's name quite a bit, as much as I did Curtis Ireland, if Ireland's not a little more. So you got at least that game, it seemed like a pretty well-rounded team. So going into a practice, is that something you guys try to talk about first and then try to practice being an all-around team, or do you just kind of practice your first power play a little bit more so that's ready to go when called upon?
We look at all facets of our game, and after a weekend we'll assess some of the things that we did well and some of the things that we think that we need some work on, and that's what drives our practices for the following week. We work with both power play groups. Group 1 maybe works a little bit more than Group 2, but Group 1 doesn't always have things go the way they want them to go, and you need that Group 2 to step in and create some momentum and score a goal, hopefully, for you. And you have guys go down at certain points in the season too. Guys get hurt, and guys have to step in. So yeah, we try and focus on everything. We like I said, we assess games and things that we've done well, and strengths and weaknesses, and that's what drives our practices for the following week. So yeah, we try and work on every part of our game, some a little bit more than others, depending on where the work is needed.
Can you, in a real quick nutshell, talk to me a little bit about your last 5 games: Central Plains, Kenora, Pembina Valley, Interlake, and Yellowhead?
Yeah, we've been good at times in those games, and have a couple of games that went really well for us over the last little while, and then we were inconsistent at times. Where even games that we end up on the right side of the scoreboard, we're not happy with some of the things that happen in game, and what we're looking for now is to become more consistent, because we've seen our team be real good at times and be real well-rounded, like you said before, and then at other times it looks like we haven't ever played together before, and so that's a little bit frustrating for our group, our coaching staff, as well as the players. They know when things aren't going as well as they need to, and they strive for consistency and working hard. So I think over that last 5 games, if you're looking for one thing that we'd like to improve on in those games, is just our consistency from period to period and game to game, and even shift to shift. We have some shifts that are real good, and then we kind of fall asleep at times, and so that's something we've talked a lot about the last little while, and something we need to continue to work on moving forward.
You guys got 7 games left before Christmas, 5 of them against teams that are under 500. Is this a little bit of a concern, knowing that you got Yellowhead and Southwest right before Christmas?
I don't think it's a concern. We look at the schedule in terms of who we're playing and where we're going, but largely we're focused on our own game, and we feel right now that if we play our game and not worry so much about the other teams and what they're doing, but worry about what we're doing and play consistent hockey, we can compete with anybody, and we've seen that over the course of the first part of the games here in the regular season. And Yellowhead's a good team, and Southwest has been doing okay, and we play some teams underneath them. But one of our issues or weaknesses so far is playing down to the level of those teams. that we play against. So, like I said before, we're looking for consistency in our game, and I think if we do that, day in and day out, practice some games, we'll continue to improve and get better, and we'll be able to play with any team that we see.
That's actually what I was actually getting at, was a consistency, or like when you play the lower level teams, it seems like the team wants to play down to that level a little bit, and then all of a sudden you run into a hot team like Yellowhead, and then you've kind of picked up some bad habits because of easier teams. Let's use that term. That's where I was going with that question a little bit. You actually answered that one really nice there. So yeah, thanks for getting that one over and done with for me.
Yeah, no worries.
You guys have taken 292 penalty minutes. Is that a bit of a concern as well? Obviously, you need to stay out of the box a little more.
Yeah, we consider ourselves a fast team, and we like to play with speed to the neutral zone and be quick in the offensive zone, and at times we get slow, and when we start to get slow, we start to take penalties. So those penalty minutes are a little bit of a product of our inconsistency at times, and when we get off our game, we have a tendency to take some penalties and sit in the penalty box. So yeah, we're not pushing the panic button in any sense of the imagination in that department yet. Obviously, at all points in the season, you preach to your guys to be disciplined and play hard and be tough to play against, but at the same time, there's a line, and you need to play on the line, but not over it. So something we'll continue to monitor and talk about, but we're not concerned about that just yet. We're more concerned with how hard we play and playing the game with speed and skill, which we have, and we feel like those are strengths of ours. So if we continue to do that, we'll stay out of the penalty box, and we'll cause other teams to take some penalties against us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, speed usually draws penalties, right? And we've both seen that in our days already, where a team that's skating is going to take more penalties for sure. So, yeah, and you guys are a fast team as well. I mean, we saw that here in Pembina Valley, and Pembina Valley that night anyways had a tough time keeping up with you guys. So, yeah, if you guys are using your legs and moving your feet the way you should, there'll be a lot of teams that'll be catching up with you guys. So that's definitely true on that one for sure. Your penalty kill is 82%. Your power play is 21%. Are you happy with this?
Yeah, I think so. Our penalty kill has taken a little bit of a hit here the last little while. We just stopped doing some of the things that we were doing earlier on, and we went away from what we were doing in the early part of the season. So we got to get that back to where it was, and we've started to see that over the last couple of games. It's gotten better. Particularly against Central Plains, there was a better day for us. That's just work ethic and being disciplined in terms of our structure. And our power play, like you had too, has dropped off over the last little while. It was real good there earlier, well, not for the very first part of the season, but in the second part of that, early part of the season, we were pretty good in our power play for a lot of games there. And but that's the way power play goes. It's you're real good at it times, and then you can be real good, have real good puck movement, and not get in and show for it, but create some momentum for us. So I think overall we're probably happy where those two things are. But at the same time, we're looking to improve all areas of our game, and those two areas are no different. We, if we're going to compete with the top teams in the league, especially teams that are super important, and we're going to continue to work on those.
You guys are scoring roughly 3.95 goals per game, so just under 4 goals a game, and allowing just under 3 goals per game. Is this enough, or does this number, I guess the goals against number, have to change at all?
Anytime you can allow, just over 2 goals a game, I think you give yourselves a chance to win. Obviously, hopefully your goals per game is higher than your goals against per game, and if that's the case, you seem to be doing okay. So, I think our group probably is capable of more on the offensive side. I think we have a skilled group, and I think we're capable of more there, and probably capable of keeping our goals against a little bit lower than that. But we feel we have real solid goaltending, and defending is something that our team has gotten better at, but still have a lot of work to do. And so I think, like I said before, we have even though we're satisfied with where we're sitting, we're certainly not complacent in any means in terms of any parts of our game. We need to continue to get better, and those two areas are no different.
Is this team healthy right now, or will the Christmas break be big for you guys to heal up?
We're pretty pretty healthy at the moment. We one of our defensemen, Rhett Bryant, had a bit of a lower body injury, but he's coming back now, skated this week, and we'll probably get some game time in this weekend. So other than that, everybody seems to be pretty healthy. But we play a lot of hockey in the first part of the season, and the Christmas break is always something that's welcome, and guys get away from the rink a little bit and spend some time with their families and get rested up and ready for that final push after Christmas. Because just speaking from experience, the league here, once Christmas rolls around and you get into January, the rest of the season goes pretty fast. So if you're not in good condition and ready for that part, it can creep up on you in a hurry, and it can go by in a hurry. And if you're not ready for it, you're left on the outside looking in. So we're healthy at the moment, and we're going to continue to work hard here until the Christmas break, and then there'll be a welcome break before the final push to the playoffs.
Is this team ready for the TELUS Cup in March?
Oh, I don't know if I would. I hesitate to. People always ask me at the beginning of the season to predict, where you're going to be at, and I don't like to predict too far, other than our goal is a playoff spot. We want to make a playoff spot, and obviously finish the regular season, in the best spot that we can. And once the playoffs roll around, that's always a new animal, and we'll approach it that way. And we've seen any team in the league can beat any other one on any given night. So I don't know if I would go as far as predicting us going that far. If we do, great. And obviously, once we get to the playoffs, our goal is the next step. So we're going to take it one day at a time here, and one game at a time, and try and make a playoff spot, like I said. And once we get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
You got anything else you'd like to add to all of this, Tyson, or do you need to get to practice?
No, I think that's good. We covered a lot of areas, and we're certainly happy with where we're at, Wayne. But we're a team that needs to continue to work hard and work on all parts of our game, because there's nothing that we're completely satisfied with, and that's no different than any other team. There's always things you can improve on, and we're no different than anybody else. So we're just trying to do the best we can and focus on our game, and we'll see where it takes us. All
right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach.
No worries.
Tyson Ramsey, head coach of the Brandon Wheat Kings AAA Midget Boys. Wayne Kalanoff reporting on the Manitoba Sports Network.